guys, and welcome to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and it's time for a species spotlight. This week I'm pretty excited to show you another shrimp, the green shrimp, or Caridina CF babaulti. They are your typical shrimp size at just over an inch, but a really beautiful green color. And they happen to be one of my personal favorites. Now, I've been having a difficult time in the past couple years getting them in well, so I set them up in a 75-gallon tank with the hopes that they will establish well in a nice, big, mature tank. So let's take a look and I'll tell you more about them. So as you can see, these shrimp are really, really beautiful. They have a striking green color that is completely natural, and they come from India and Malaysia. I most often get them reliably out of India. And they are called Caridina CF babaulti because CF stands for confer, and what confer means in fish keeping in particular is that it compares to or looks like a known species, but that either the species has not been formally classified or studied with scientists to give it its actual name. So these guys are called CF babaulti because they're similar to babaulti, but noticeably different in that babaulti shrimps actually have multiple larval stages. So this whole grouping of shrimp out of India, these Indian Caridina, have not been formally studied enough for them to actually have a scientific name, though they're commonly referred to as babaulti. The correct term would be, again, CF babaulti. They're also unique in that they have an extremely serrated rostrum, or the top of their nose has noticeable little toothy appendages, which while found in other shrimp is most pronounced in this species. You can see that here in the female in the back and the one in the front. Now, similar to cherry shrimp as well, they have that visible saddle, which is where their eggs are. Now, what I really like about this shrimp is that their water conditions are very similar to your cherry shrimp or any of the neocaridinas, taking a range of pHs from mid-6s to high 7s, and a temperature range anywhere in the 70s to the low 80s. The other nice thing is that they don't hybridize with any of the neocaridina species, so you can keep them together safely and not have to worry about any hybridization. So you can see here their eggs are smaller than a cherry shrimp, which can make it a little more challenging to raise the young. A well-mature tank, extremely established, is really recommended for these shrimp. I find them to be very fragile upon import. When this female in front of us, you can see that visible saddle. Now, they're sex similar to cherry shrimps in that the females are noticeably bigger and rounder, and they have that saddle, which is their visible ovaries. The males are smaller and lack that rounded abdomen. These guys are also pretty fascinating because they have some chromatic adaptation, which means they will adapt to suit their environment. So they can actually change colors. They can range from this light green to a very dark green to a brown color to a reddish color. And it used to be thought that that was because of stress, but it does seem to be chromatic adaptation, which I just think is really cool and very pronounced in this particular species. These happen to be one of my most favorite shrimp, and I really hope that I can get this colony established very well so that I can offer them regularly to folks. You may remember from Tuesday's video that I gave them a 75-gallon to themselves, and I know that sounds excessive, but I really want to have success with this shrimp again. It's been a long time since I could get them in alive. Again, their breeding is the same as cherries. They do it all the same way, just a little bit slower. Again, you can see here how tiny their eggs are, so it's especially important that you use sponge filtration to prevent their babies from getting sucked up. You can see a female on the right and a male on the left. See how much smaller he is and flatter in appearance. These, like most shrimp, really benefit from some leaf litter in the tank, as well as driftwood and lots of plants, though it's certainly not required. It does provide them a lot of comfort. Generally speaking, once these guys settle in from import, they do very, very well. Now, shrimp lumped into the babaulti complex are also available in a couple other color forms, one of which is a black color. One has a white band down its back with horizontal crossbars, and then there's a dwarf zebra version. And I'll show you guys those another time. Here you can see this one doing part of its grooming routine. They're really quite beautiful. You can also see that serrated rostrum that I was talking about, as well as her fanning her eggs. Here you can see some of the variability of their colors and that chromatic adaptation. One being darker green, one more of like a yellow brown. Interestingly enough, before I put these guys in this little holding container to show you, one of these shrimp was a red-brown color. But because of the dark substrate, it has turned more of a green color again. But I'm sure you guys can see why these shrimp are truly one of my favorites. They are just stunning. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming Tuesday tips or species spotlights. Make sure you stop by my Facebook as well as my website, MsJinx.com, where you can find my upcoming speaking engagements, my current stock list, and information on all things nano. As always, I love hearing from you guys. Let me know in the comments what your favorite shrimp is. And also, let me know if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions.